Welcome, everyone. I'm Christine McIver, host of Inspired Choices TV, where we speak to people creating greater in the world through things that inspire them. Today, I have a wonderful guest, Dave Rahaman, and Dave is creating greater through some pretty exciting things. Welcome, Dave.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So, Dave, you have a very interesting story, and we're going to be talking about Happy in Pursuit today. And I find your story very interesting. You have had quite a journey in your life to date. And you interact with people, you inspire people in all sorts of different ways. But I'd like to start with where did your journey begin? You're in Canada, you live in Canada now. Right. Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Trinidad, in the south of Trinidad in San Fernando. Trinidad is the island that is furthest south in the Caribbean, the one that is famous for its carnival.
Okay. And when did you come to Canada, and what brought you to Canada?
What brought me to Canada was my mother exporting me to boarding school because she said I would be a juvenile delinquent if I stayed at home. So she deposited me in Port Hope, Ontario, at a school called Trinity College School, an all-boys boarding school. And I had the bulk of my Canadian education there.
And how old were you when you came to Canada?
I was 12.
Wow.
Or just going on 13, yeah.
So you started your adventures very young.
Very, very young, yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And you stayed here. You didn't go back to Trinidad after your schooling was complete?
I did university, and actually before my university was done, I returned to Trinidad and spent 4 years. And actually those 4 years are the genesis for what is happening with me now.
So say more. What is happening with you now?
So when I went back home, I was a bit of a lost soul. I had left university. I wasn't sure what I was going to be doing. And there was a huge election campaign going on, and I'd never been involved in it. And I got involved in the elections at a pretty good level, and by seeing it through, after the elections were over and we won, I was one of the people that they looked to for organization and management stuff, and they handed me a small portfolio for the Carnival Festival in Trinidad, which is the big one. It's the one everybody copies. And even at my young age, I got the South Show, which was a huge treat. And it started me involved in culture. It started me involved in event marketing and just promotion.
So what was your role? Sorry, this just keeps coming through my head. What was your role in the election, the political?
What is my role in the election?
No, what was it at that time?
Oh, it's very strange, varied roles. Because I went to the meetings with my camera, I started out being a photographer. And then because of developing a rapport with the candidates, they started asking for me to be with them. And it evolved into a wrangler with the candidates, sort of keeping troublesome people away, intimidating them away with the cameras, and quasi-security. And then it moved along from there.
Wow. So you were there for 4 years. You did that. What brought you back? Is there a tie to bringing you back to Canada with that?
There is a tie to bringing me back to Canada. It's not a happy tie necessarily. My eldest brother drowned in a boating accident.
In Canada?
In Canada. And when that happened, we came back to Canada for the funeral, et cetera, and Mom said, you know, there's money here, you guys take a shot. And I mean, I've been here pretty much ever since, yeah.
So so you said that going back to Trinidad actually led you to where you are today.
Yeah.
So can you take us on that journey?
In an extremely roundabout way. My family, I come from a family of printers. We put ink on paper. And generations of people who put ink on paper. And when we came to when we came to Canada, the natural thing for us to do was to start printing. So my brother and I, we bought a little printing press, and with the help of about 6 people, hauled it down into a basement And we started printing church flyers and business cards for doctors and stuff like that. And I made a breakthrough. I made a breakthrough with a company called Norwich Union. And Norwich Union is one of the largest insurance companies in the world. And they started giving us enough money that we could support a place outside of our own basement. And from there, it blossomed. The philosophy I had of picking companies rather than trying to get everybody led to some great personal clients, Adobe and Microsoft and Apple computers, and in the tech field, Symantec as well. And this is during the time when there was the tech boom. So I hooked it just at the right time. All of these guys were flush with money, and I was happy to take it. I was happy to take it. And after the tech bust, I was lucky enough to have had two clients outside of the tech industry, one in power and energy, and the other in meetings and events. And I always had a philosophy of only wanting 5 clients at a time. And just with those two, I was able to scale back, work from home, had more money in my pocket. And
more money in your pocket than when you had the 5 clients?
More money in my pocket because I shut down my building, I shut down my overhead. My office was my laptop. I had to do that because of a personal issue with my son. My youngest son is autistic, and he required therapy at home. And as the free agent of the family, working for myself, I moved back my office to home, and when I realized I mostly worked from home anyway, I shut the office down. It saved me thousands of dollars a month. Yeah, and I had a great life with those two because my energy clients, they had 150 offices, and my meeting and events clients, they're the largest meeting and events company in the world. So I would get to do the swag for amazing events. When BP is taking all of their execs ziplining in BC, or Comcast is carrying all their top performers to play golf with Tiger Woods, or Adobe is giving leather jackets to Michael Jackson and all of their people in Chicago. I got the chance to do all of that and be a part of it. And that's where I realized that when you're happy with what you do, you never have to work a day in your life. I very rarely worked. I hope to keep avoiding it as much as possible in the future.
I love that. That is an awesome target. Avoid work.
Avoid work as much as possible.
That's fabulous. And so this is where the whole idea of Happy in Pursuit started to evolve?
Yes, to some degree it did. The connection between Trinidad and the Bahamas is simply because I did that kind of work in Trinidad, and then the largest diaspora festival, which is these types of Caribbean street festivals that pop up all over, is Toronto. It generates, I'm going to get in my Caravana bandwagon here now because I ran Caravana for a few years. It generates $400 million in local business. It is more valuable to the Toronto economy than the Blue Jays, because the Blue Jays, 90% is U.S. salaries paid in U.S. dollars, and it goes right out the door. Caravana brings money from Southern New York, Rochester, upstate New York, Atlanta, Miami, Washington. There are 92 festivals based on the Trinidad model. Caravana is the crown jewel of them all. When the Bahamas, which is a magnificently gorgeous location, decided they wanted to try and emulate Caravana, they thought, hey, let's talk to Caravana people. And as fate would have it, it's the old boys network, my roommate from boarding school, his roommate from law school in London was the Minister of Education and Sports and Culture. And they were talking about it. And Mark Finlayson,
yes,
my friend from boarding school, said, oh, you don't have to worry about that. My friend Chubby can do all of that for you. And despite that horrible introduction, the Minister for Youth, Sports and Culture called me up and asked me to be a cultural ambassador to the government of the Bahamas.
Oh my gosh.
I had to spend thousands of dollars in medical attention because all three of my children passed out because they thought I had no culture whatsoever.
All right, this is a perfect time for a break.
Okay.
Stay tuned, everyone. We will be back with Dave Rahaman here on the Inspired Choices TV show with myself, Christine McIver, and we'll talk more about Happy in Pursuit. Welcome back, everyone. I am Christine McIver, the host of Inspired Choices TV, and today we are speaking with Dave Rahaman, and we're talking about Happy in Pursuit. So, Dave, you jumped over into, you were talking about Trinidad, coming to Canada, right, and your amazing adventure.
So the thread was that, a random job as a kid in Trinidad set me up so that Caravana asked me, hey, can you come and help? And that led me to taking over the marketing, which is for the festival, is the most important job in the festival. Okay. And because of doing that for a few years, successfully, through 4 different chairmen of Caravana, I was the one happy piece that kept going. Because of that, the government of the Bahamas asked me to do the work down there with them. So I was down there and set this up with them, and was all ready for to play a part in the new festival. Yeah. At the same time, my good friend decided he was moving to the Bahamas. And he's been very generous to me. And because of all my contacts in the Bahamas, I said, I want to make you happy in pursuit in the Bahamas. And he's like, how so? I said, I'm going to take you down. I'm going to show you the ropes. And I'm going to introduce you to everybody you need. So I called my friend up and said, I'm bringing my buddy down. We got to give him the expat orientation. And he said, well, what are you guys trying to do? And I said, well, he's looking at opening a restaurant. And he said, oh my God, my head is going to explode. Traveler's Rest is up for grabs. And I'm like, well, you got to be kidding me.
Okay, so for all of us non-Bahamians, what Traveler's Rest is a restaurant?
Traveler's Rest to the Bahamas is like Studio 54 in New York during the day. It was the place to be. The stories that I've been told, I mean, I've shared some of these stories with you. The people who hung out there, I mean, Bob Marley and Eric Clapton sat at my bar before he sang I Shot the Sheriff. I am a music person, and that makes me just shudder thinking about it. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's Ozzy Osbourne, it's Eric Clapton, it's Bob Marley, it's everybody. Diana Ross. I mean, Chris Blackwell called me up on my phone to ask if Blackwell rum could be the rum for Travelers West. Chris Blackwell is the founder of Island Records, who produced every single Brit person you know and care about, basically. And his studio was 5 minutes up the street from Travelers West. So everybody from there hung out at Travelers West. The first mural that was painted in there, Robert Palmer's wife was bored, and she painted the mural in there. So for me it was wow, this place was up for grabs, and in fact the Happy in Pursuit philosophy has been the thing that has won it for us. We went down there and we were competing with gazillionaires, guys who live in life at key and have more money than God and can do what they want. And, we went down and I saw what was taking place, and I saw the woman whose place it was, and I pulled her aside and was able to connect with her on the point of, I see how hard it is for you. I see what you've built here. It's like, I don't intend to take this thing down. I intend to build it up and keep this great legacy you guys have here, and I'm happy doing it. It's like, I literally said, I'm happy doing it. I will not be tired coming to work here. This won't be work for me. I will enjoy every day I wake up and come to this place and feed hungry tourists. That to me, that sounds like heaven. And they kept on this cattle call for 2 days, during which time I thought I wasted my flight and accommodations. And frankly, that flight and accommodations was the last money I had at the time. And when we were leaving to come back, the woman who owned the place stopped the meeting and just said, Dave is the one I want to have the restaurant. And that was the end of it. And it's been a year and a half now of going through paperwork and red tape and, being desperately afraid that you're going to run out of money before it's done. But it's going to be done in a week.
So you and your dear friend Daryl.
Yeah.
What's Daryl's last name?
Daryl Muhammad.
Daryl Muhammad have said yes to Travelers Rest.
Yeah.
It's now named Travelers West.
Yeah.
West, because it's on the west side.
That's right. So
of the island.
West side of the island, the more posh side.
The more posh side. So I understand all of that from a business perspective, but what is it about you that you inspire people when you are there? So you have been in the Bahamas
Right.
several times between when you started this a year and a half ago and now.
Right.
When you're there and you're meeting people, what goes on with you and other people when you're talking?
I think a lot of times I have lots of issues that I'm dealing with while I'm here. I have family and parents and ex-wife and all the rest of it, and I am still a generally happy person. The focus with this sort of happy in pursuit, and I think I'm so enthusiastic about it that's what is really the key or the difference. To find your enthusiasm, find something that you are excited about, because everybody will tell you you're unique. You are somewhat unique, but there's a couple thousand other unique ones like you. And the thing is, what resonates with you will have to have the confidence that it will resonate with other people. People who sing music, when you're singing and hearing yourself in the shower and you're thinking, boy, that sounds like crap. They're listening and thinking, boy, that sounds great. And sometimes both of you are right, and sometimes both of you are wrong. You just have to grasp what makes you happy and go after it. And I have no idea how I am where I am. A year ago, I was that close to looking for the government cheese, and I'm a week away now from opening a restaurant in the Bahamas and having life take a whole different trajectory. And I cannot blame it on anything other than that day when I said, you know what? Happy in pursuit. That's how we're going to get this. We're going to get this happy in pursuit. And I named the company Happy in Pursuit. The Canadian holding company is Happy in Pursuit, and the Bahamian holding company is Happy in Pursuit. So
I love that. I love that that's your focus, that's your target. And it's kind of like a flag that you hold out in front of you. And it must help to keep you grounded in those moments when there are challenges. Because when we're opening a business next door, it's challenging. You're
Yeah.
opening a business in another country.
Yeah.
I know that you've had many, many challenges, as anyone would. You have to have that happy in pursuit in front of you
Yeah.
to keep you moving, right?
It's almost I mean, I've been. People call themselves an entrepreneur now, and it sounds such a big deal. I've been too lazy to work since I'm a child, so I've had to make my own paychecks. If you call that an entrepreneur, then that's what I am. But I mean, one of the absolute key elements to success in being an entrepreneur is being able to look at when the odds say pack it up and go home, and say, no, the game's not over until I win. The game is, because if you lose, what are you doing? You're taking the bus and you're eating cheese.
You're
taking the bus and you're eating crackers. So it's not an option, right? You keep going. I think there are probably 3 times in the last year that I thought, man, is this it? Is it it? Maybe it's it. And there's 2 of us, and invariably the other one will come in with a happy story or
right.
or a cold drink or a bright idea, like, hey, let's go snorkel over by Life at Key. And you know, you get back into it. It changes the dynamic. So much of how your role is how you feel you're rolling.
Yeah.
So it's fake it till you make it is the other thing they say. I'm not sure that's exactly the same thing, but finding something that you're really joyous doing.
Right.
And everybody has it.
You
right?
just got to keep digging.
You just have to dig for it.
So, Dave, if people want to connect with Travelers West before they even get to the Bahamas,
right?
Where can they find information?
I have a Facebook page that is Travelers West Nassau. The website is travelerswest.com. You can find me on Instagram.
Right. You're all over.
I'm all over. If you just link to the Facebook page, there's a connection to all of the rest of social media. Right. It's on YouTube and Twitter as well.
Right.
I have to YouTube and twit, but it's up there.
So when they come to the Bahamas and they come by Travelers West, they'll be able to enjoy much happiness, I'm sure.
Absolutely. If you're there for the day, the best drive is actually from where the cruise ships drop you in Old Nassau, right? And it brings you all the way along West Bay Street. It's just a magnificent drive, and then you end up by me, and I am the last enclave before Life at Key is on the other side of me, where Beyonce and the titans of the world hang out. And if you try and climb the fence, they'll probably drag you down and deport you to Jamaica. But you know, it's a quiet area. There is a gorgeous beach in front of me, and there's so much cool things to see as you come up. We will be doing tour tickets, although I'm kind of interested in the more adventurous folks that take a taxi and come out or grab mopeds or a small rental and come out, and we certainly see a fair amount of them. But the drive out is about 20 minutes. It's just simply one of the most beautiful drives, and you'll see all of the main things in Nassau. You end up by me. The caves are right close to me, which is an amazing spot. There's bats in these caves. The Indians made these caves. It's pretty incredible. And the Daiquiri Man is down further. And past me a little bit is Gambia Fishing Village. So it's a non-Vegas fake mall type experience. You know, you're not coming to get the little umbrellas and the drinks. You're coming to have an amazing time on the beach, and the food is going to be spectacular.
Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to get to the Bahamas and see all of this amazingness.
Well, we'd love to have you.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone, for being with us today. We have had just a wonderful conversation with Dave. Please check out travelerswest.com. And be sure to come back next week with myself, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices TV, where we will have another inspiring guest. Bye for now.